I'm the youngest.
Okay. So are you the rebel? Suzanne, so when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I had always written, so but I wouldn't say that I wanted to be a writer. Actually, this sounds kind of funny, but I remember really liking the waitress at the restaurant that I went to with my family, and thinking that I wanted to be a waitress, which I did for a while. But yes, after that, writing definitely.
When did you come to realize you wanted to be a writer?
I think it's just always, it's always been something that I've done. I have memories of keeping a journal, from early on. Probably as young as, I think, like 7 or 8. My mom always used to make sure I had a journal around, and so she was really encouraging in that way.
What have your parents most wanted from you?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question. What have they most wanted from me?
Yeah.
Well, I guess to be happy. They want me to be happy in life.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think. I don't know that. Yeah, that's kind of a big question. But I would say overall, yeah, that would be my answer.
How about being married with children?
Oh, you mean along those lines? Yes, definitely. I think that they would like that. Although they're four children, and no one is yet married with children, and so I think they're pretty quiet about it. But yeah, occasionally I get a hint that they would like grandchildren.
Where are you in the birth order?
Sorry, that was I'm the youngest.
Okay. So are you the rebel?
I don't know. It's funny. I don't really think of myself like that, but I guess I remember hearing there was some research study that came out last year, a couple years ago, and apparently the oldest children have higher IQs.
Yeah.
But the youngest tend to sort of end up doing different things because I guess the theory is that they want to distinguish themselves, so their goal is to be different than the people siblings that came before them. Where are you or do you
I'm the youngest. I'm totally the youngest. I'm a rebel, and I prefer to date oldest children because they're responsible.
Wait, you prefer what?
I'm the youngest, and I prefer to date women who are the oldest because they tend to be responsible and disciplined, and it's a good balance. I'm then the playful one, and they're the kind of responsible one, and it's a good balance.
Okay.
Because eldest children tend to like to date youngest children.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's funny. I'm dating an oldest child right now, so I guess that sort of resonates.
Have many of your boyfriends been eldest children?
Nope, definitely not.
Well, that's why it didn't work out then.
Yeah, exactly. We can just boil it down to that.
Where were you in the social pecking order in high school?
That's a good question too. It's really funny. As I was just talking about this morning. I had a boyfriend actually of my high school years that I spent a lot of time with, so I felt it was sort of on the periphery a little bit. But I was active in sports. I played field hockey. But then I also was pretty active in dance, and that wasn't part of the high school scene. I sort of danced in another town. And then I was involved in student government which was fun.
So you
I've
sounds like
now
you were
found
popular.
a lot of my what?
Sounds like you were popular.
I don't know. I don't know that I would say that, but I liked. You know what's so funny? Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Have a bunch of your high school friends now found you on Facebook?
No one from high school has found me on Facebook, but several found me on MySpace.
Oh, okay. I wonder, maybe MySpace is just more popular. Where did you grow up?
I was in Australia till I was 11, and then I went to high school in the Sacramento area.
Okay.
So I'm 42, so it's maybe a little older crowd through MySpace. But really, I think only one or two have sought me out through MySpace. It more often happens just email when I'm on TV or something.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I was asking you if you were popular.
I guess I liked high school. Pretty good. I wouldn't go back, but it was fine.
Right. And where did you go undergrad?
I went to George Washington.
Is that in St. Louis?
No, that's Wash U. I went. GW is in Washington D.C. and I was there for 3 years, and then I actually dropped out for 2 years, thinking that I would go elsewhere, and then I ended up back in D.C. finishing there. So.
And you majored in?
In philosophy.
Oh. So why did you get the MFA, and how did it affect your writing?
That's a good question. I guess I felt like, so I had mentioned before, writing was something that was always sort of in the back of my mind, and I felt like I wasn't working in a creative field at all. I was working for various nonprofits and in the Boston area, and I just wasn't feeling like I was doing what I wanted to be doing. So I was writing on my own, but I wanted more discipline, and I wanted more just time, really. I mean, I felt like being in that sort of community would be great. So that I could be around other people who were also writing a lot, and it was really good. It was really good in that sense. And then what was the other part of the question?
How did it affect your writing?
Oh, how did it affect my writing? Yeah, that's a good question. It's really interesting because I don't know. I mean, before I went, a lot of people said to me, well, either you can write or you can't. That's sort of, what do you expect? But I kind of I really wanted the time, and it was great for that. It was really great to be able to just kind of dive in, and I also explored a lot more than I may have done on my own, because the program was very encouraging of that. That it's sort of a time to they encourage us not to figure out what book you're going to write now, but just to sort of, experiment and play with things like voice. And so it was great in that sense. But so I guess I got a lot of good practice there. I guess I would say that's sort of the best way. But by the time I finished the program, which I absolutely loved, I also kind of felt like, oh gosh, I don't know if I ever want to be in another writing workshop again, just because it was kind of tiring, and I also felt like I wanted to sort of isolate myself in terms of my writing and just write my own, sort of take all that I had learned and try to use that as a starting point.
Why did you go the nonfiction route with your first book?
Oh, that's a good question too. I guess because I